to another episode of the Six Figure Vet podcast, where we showcase the success stories of Black veterans that have successfully unlaced the boots. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the Six Figure Vet podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Now, y'all, today's guest is nothing short of extraordinary. Today, we have a guest who embodies leadership, service, and entrepreneurship at its highest level, Mr. Donnell E. Johns Sr. Donnell is a retired U.S. Army Command Sergeant Major with over 25 years of service, and he didn't just take off the uniform. He took his leadership to the next level as the founder and CEO of Veterans Growing America. He's built a platform that helps veteran entrepreneurs and military-connected business owners grow, scale, and thrive. Through VGA's Veterans Marketplace, business education programs, and community-driven events, he's creating opportunities for those who serve to continue leading in the business world. But he doesn't stop there either. Donnell is also the Prince William County District Veterans Commissioner, where he advocates for veterans and at the community level, ensuring they have access to the resources, opportunities, and networks they need to succeed. His work has earned national recognition, with features on PBS, Opportunity Knox, ABC, and multiple media outlets, and awards like the Business Champion of the Year and Prince William County's Business Partnership of the Year. From the battlefield to the boardroom, Donnell is showing veterans how to own their success. Get ready for a conversation filled with leadership gems, business insights, and straight up game, okay? Let's give a warm six-figure welcome to Mr. Donnell Sr. Welcome.
Hey, I'm happy to be here. I don't know who that guy that you were talking about, but that sounded really good.
Listen, he had a lot going on, didn't he?
Wow.
So I like to start off every single episode with doing a mental health check-in. So how are you today?
I'm doing fantastic. I am what I say I am. And so I start off my day with, telling myself how great my day is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love to be positive about everything.
Yes.
I'm in charge of my success. And so I utilize my mind to tell me exactly how excellent everything is going to be.
How did you get to that point? Have you always had that outlook on just like, okay, today I'm going to decide what type of day this is and I'm going to be the director of my future? Have you always kind of had that mindset, or did it take a little fine tuning to get to where you are now with that mindset?
A little bit of both, right? Because I would be lying to say I don't have bad days. But at the same time, it took some time to work up to that point.
Yeah.
I realized after a struggle that I went through that I wasn't my mistakes.
Mm.
And once I realized that I wasn't my mistakes, I was able to take ownership and seize the moments that were ahead of me and not the ones that were behind me. I couldn't do anything about those.
Yeah.
And so once I understood that, and I realized that thoughts become things,
mm-hmm.
I don't want my thoughts to be demons, so I want my thoughts to be amazing. And so once I made that decision, I go throughout my day just like that.
Yeah. It is so important not to attach our identity to our negative choices, because we're human and we're going to mess up. So if you begin to identify yourself with especially the bad choices that you've made, because for some odd reason our brain is wired to really highlight them, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you choose to take on the identity of your mistakes, how will you ever succeed?
Exactly.
How will you ever succeed? So, love that gem. Definitely love that gem, taking ownership of your success. And I think by taking ownership of your success, like you said, taking ownership of your day. So, Mr. Donnell, tell us a little bit of backstory before you became the face, the brand, the founder, right? Who were you before the military, and how did you even end up in the military?
Wow. Funny story. So I grew up in San Francisco, in the inner city of San Francisco in the Fillmore district. I had no idea what I wanted to be in life. I just knew I needed to leave the city.
Mm.
I remember back when I grew up, so I'm 52 years old. We didn't have cell phones or none of that other type of stuff, but I was watching a TV commercial and they had, it was the Air Force. And the Air Force had this commercial about, being an airplane mechanic. So I had that idea in my head. And so I caught the bus over to the Air Force recruiting office and he wasn't there. And I did that 3 times and I was like, all right, I gave up. And I just kind of went on with my life. Um, and a friend of mine, his mom, uh, when we got off work, she had a recruiter sitting at the table and she says, y'all got to do something. It was me and 3 friends of mine. It was Ken, Keith, and dang, I can't think of the name of my third friend. I haven't talked to him in years, but all 4 of us joined the Army. So that
This is probably
recruiter,
before the buddy system was a buddy system.
yeah. So it's a trip because all 4 of us joined and we never served together. And I've only was able to catch up with them twice since we all joined. 3 of us stayed in and retired, and then one, Eric is his name. Eric. Sorry about that, Eric. But Eric got out of the Army and became a lawyer, and he's
Oh,
doing amazing
wow.
things right now. And so I grew up in San Francisco. I went to Catholic school, and I just lived a regular life. I was just a really goofy kid, not knowing what I wanted to do, but I knew I just didn't want to be in the city anymore. And I realized that um, it was all about business for me. I always wanted an office,
Mm-hmm.
and I even told the recruiter, he was like, yeah, you want to join? He was like, you want to be infantry? I was like, definitely not. He was like, you want to jump out of planes? I was like, absolutely not. He was like, well, what do you want to do? I said, do they have offices in the Army? He was like, yeah. And so I became a human resource specialist. At the time, it was a 71 Lima administrative specialist.
Definitely going to have
And
an office with human resources.
yes. And so, that's how I began my journey in the military. And it was super cool because everybody always needed me.
Yeah.
And I was always able to take care of people in the military, through my human resource job. Um, and I always really looked at things, as far as business was concerned. When I was a kid, I was always trying to figure out ways to make money.
Mm-hmm.
When I was like 12 years old, I used to draw pictures of all kind of stuff, and I used to sell them for 15 and 20 cents, to make money to buy lunch for school because we didn't have very much money growing up. And so I was always an entrepreneur in one right. And I spent 10 years in the active Army, and then uh, at the 10-year mark, I got the opportunity to become a recruiter. So I seized that opportunity, and I was actually the best recruiter in the Army National Guard. I transferred from the active Army into the National Guard as a recruiter, and I was Rookie of the Year,
Mm.
runner-up, top recruiter. When I became an NCIC, I had the top team, and then when I became the sergeant major of recruiting, all of my recruiters made mission.
Oh, wow.
So sales has always been in my blood. I was able to sell to my recruiters, that recruiting was an amazing thing to do, and how by them doing that job, it actually changed people's lives. And I made it something fun, and I made it something, that they really enjoy doing. And so that's why my recruiters were successful. And that's kind of how uh, I ended up where I am today.
That is amazing. You know what my favorite part of that story is? I've never looked at the correlation between recruiting and sales. And it's a direct correlation between the two.
100%. If you can sell someone on joining the military, basically saying that they would die for their country, you
Mm-hmm.
can sell anything,
Yeah.
you know? And to me, growing up in San Francisco in the inner city, I didn't see the die for your country. What I saw was the opportunity that the military offered. Um, I didn't see, I felt safer in the military than I did when I was in San Francisco.
That makes a lot of sense.
And when I saw the opportunity, be able to buy a house, with zero down, free health care, they're going to feed me all 3 meals. They're going to pay me to go to work. I got paid to talk to people about something that I love. I got paid to show people how the military can change their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this was an opportunity that most people don't get in a lifetime. But if you change your perspective and see all of the benefits that the military has to offer, it can change your life.
Yes.
You can leave the military if you handle your money correctly uh, as a millionaire. You don't have to pay for anything, especially as a young soldier. They feed you 3 times a day, so that money that you have, you can invest it. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's so much that these servicemen that can do to change their life by service.
Right. You are the second veteran, not even kidding, today that has said if you handle your money correctly, you can leave the military a millionaire.
That's a true statement.
That is a very true. You are the second one that has told me that. And I think that there needs to be more conversations geared towards younger service members about what to do, because most of the time we're coming straight out of high school. We coming from
Hmm.
our mama house to the military. It's a direct line, and we don't know what to do with this money. They don't know what to do. They just like, I'm getting paid. And a lot of us, the military, especially in the African American community, it's a way out. So there's probably not a lot of financial literate conversations being had
Hmm.
in the home. So we blowing money fast.
Yeah.
We getting it and we spending it up.
Oh man, I remember blowing money fast. I remember when I got out of I went from basic training, job training to Desert Storm, and so for 9 months I was deployed. That means I couldn't spend money for 9 months. I came back with a pocket full of money.
Of course. And it was probably burning
Oh
a
my
hole in
goodness.
you.
Woo! I remember all of the parties.
Burning a hole in your pocket. Like, I
Man,
can't wait to spend this.
ooh wee! I bought me a Jetta, put me some stars on it. Look, if I only would have known.
Right, right. But we're definitely, I definitely think that there should be and will be more conversations around, financial literacy and financial responsibility and competency as it relates to younger service members. So you have gone through this journey in the military. You leave San Francisco, you do 10 years active duty. Now you're on the National Guard side recruiting, and you achieve all the successes there. And so now you're at this 25-year mark, and it's like, okay, it's time to make a move. What was that like? First of all, what was Veterans Growing in America always deployed, always the plan after leaving the military?
Absolutely not. No, it was not. I knew I wanted to. I knew I wanted to build a community. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what that community looked like. I kind of had an idea. Um, my first thing that I wanted to do was I started a leadership consulting firm, and it was really about a conversation that I had with my mom. My mom was working at Safeway, and she had all of these young people that she worked for. She was a cashier for almost 40 plus years. And all the people that she worked for were terrible. They didn't know how to lead anything. And so I said that I was going to build an organization to teach people how to lead and have people really respect, their leadership in a way that they would love to go to work every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was my first business. It was called a Vision Worldwide leadership consulting firm, where we build, the leaders that you would love to work with.
Okay.
I did very well with that. I was training people. Number one, I trained the FDA. I trained OPM. I trained Lockheed Martin.
Oh,
I
wow.
trained the Army National Guard. Um, I went all over, doing that training, but it wasn't fulfilling to me because I was doing it by myself. And I'm used to having a team around me. I was used to um, really delegating certain things. When you're in business, you got to be everybody. I was the marketing person.
Oh,
I was the salesperson.
yes. You cold calling, cold pitching, emailing.
Yeah, it was all of that. And so I got to see a side of myself that I didn't like. I got to fail in positions that I shouldn't have even been doing.
Yeah.
I had to be my own human resource person.
Mm.
I had to be it all. And so at that time, it was kind of depressing, like doing all of the things that I wasn't good at. And I didn't know about the different tools that were out there where I could hire somebody for $4 an hour as I'm getting started. I didn't know about any of these things. And I happened upon an idea to create a community of veteran entrepreneurs. And I was like, the first thing that I saw is I went to this event and I saw all of these veterans there, and they were there for a business conference, but they weren't selling anything. They were being sold a product or a resource that could help their business. And I'm like, okay, I like this conference. The energy felt good, but it wasn't veterans selling their
Yeah.
business.
Right.
And then I went to another conference, and it was AUSA, and I saw this big room full of entrepreneurs, and they were trying to sell to the military. I'm like, but it wasn't veterans. I'm like, I can create something that are veterans selling to America their products and or services. And so that's how Veterans Growing America was born, by me seeing an opportunity where there was no space like that.
Yeah.
And so I created the space, and it's been evolving ever since. As I learn and grow, the organization grows. We started out as an events organization where we did pop-up events at different locations. And then that turned into a store. And then it turned into another store.
Yeah.
And then it turned into us using that store to house veteran and military spouse businesses and events
Yes.
in so many different capacities. And so we have been adjusting to support our military community and showcasing them in a way that nobody has ever seen. And I wanted to do that because what I saw with my own eyes was the message that was being put out there about our community was killing us. What I mean by that is, remember how you asked me, your thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if the thoughts that America is putting out there about us, we're consuming, is PTSD, suicide, and homelessness, guess what we will become?
Suicide, anxiety, and homelessness.
And
Because that's
so,
what it looks like. But when you think of veterans, America tries to make it equate that to poverty almost, not prosperity.
Exactly.
Like needy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was on a networking call, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna meet other business owners, and they're gonna connect me with all kind of people. And they was like, yeah, so tell me a little bit about you. I said, I just got out of the military. They said, oh, we're gonna put you in the disabled group. I was like, what? Why would you do that? And she was like, well, you guys, y'all
We just
need help.
assumed.
Right. And so I'm like, okay, the messaging has to change.
Yes.
And so people need to know that organizations like Chick-fil-A started by a veteran, Walmart started by a veteran, Nike started by a veteran, UPS started by a veteran. All of these Fortune 500 companies were started by veterans, but we're not telling that story.
Nope.
We're selling, help out this veteran, donate this money to help them with PTSD, suicide, and homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And we wondering why they're not getting jobs.
Right.
Because we're
They don't
selling
think they're
ourselves.
competent
Right.
or
Even
stable.
and even veterans walk up to me and they be like, "Yeah, I'm a disabled veteran," like that's a badge. Like, why are you telling me that? That's something that you could put on an application somewhere,
Right.
you
That's not
know?
a marketing tool. It
Right,
shouldn't be
yeah.
a marketing tool.
It's not a marketing tool, and I don't even if someone believes it's a marketing tool, it's not. I can understand that they're gonna set aside jobs for excuse me, business for us because of that.
Right.
But you don't wear it on your shirt like a Superman badge. It's not that.
Yes. You're absolutely correct. I think knowing when to use that, like you said, set asides. A lot of people don't know about set asides, but what a set aside is like 8 programs through the government, funding like that. So knowing how to strategically, yes, if you are a disabled veteran, there are things out there for you that could help you or help your business, but it's not a marketing strategy. That shouldn't be a part of your elevator pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Like what should be a part of your elevator pitch, especially in rooms where you are networking, is what you can do, the services that you provide, and the how you offer value. Those are the things that we should be talking about.
Bingo.
Not I'm a disabled veteran, right? No. Now, when it comes to those 8A program funding, that's a different conversation. But that's something else that that needs to be discussed as well, is changing the narrative around the word veteran. Like
Yes.
it's we're not needy. I know a lot of wealthy veterans. I know a lot of extremely smart and business savvy veterans. So the fact that VGA is being a part of trailblazing, changing the narrative around veteran and what it looks like is just amazing. So how do veterans contribute to the growth of America?
So that's very simple. Um, Number one, you got to have an idea. You got to be able to think outside the box and figure out, how you solve problems.
Mm-hmm.
Because every business should solve some sort of problem.
Yes.
Even a clothing item can solve a problem. You just got to figure out what that is. We wear clothes all the time, and like I love Jordans, right? Love them. That's part of my problem. But when I put those on, it reminds me the greatest basketball player in the world wore these shoes. And so that's a part of me saying that I'm great. And so that's what I want, these veterans to realize is you're put on this earth to provide a gift to the world, and whatever that gift is can provide prosperity in your life. And so through that, um, you need a community around you to be able to help you through the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, to help you grow. And that's why people, become members of Veterans Growing America and become a part of what we do, is because they want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, like the military,
Mm-hmm.
and a community that will uplift them and help them through those times that, you know, suck when it comes to entrepreneurship. Or they may have an idea, they may have um, a resource that can help you out. You can collaborate with our entrepreneurs. There's so many different ways that we have come together as an organization and as a people to be able to showcase and grow our business. I mean, look at us talking right now. This will lift us both up.
Right.
You telling my story and me telling my story on your platform. People that I know will see you, and people that you know will see me, and they will Google us and try to figure out how they could be down.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. Danielle, what is since you have been working, or since you founded Veterans Growing America, you probably have been like firsthand watching veterans either develop businesses or watching them get businesses off the ground. What are some of the biggest challenges you see veteran owned businesses face when they're in the developmental phases of starting their businesses?
They quit.
Oh, let's talk about that.
So some people, if they don't see success right away, they're like, this is not working, it's too hard, and they quit. Sometimes you need to pay attention to those customers that walk in the door and uh, that one person that shops with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that does business with you can change your life. You just got to treat that one customer right. They want 50 customers at a time, and God will have it set up to where if you're not able to handle it, you're not going to get it.
You're not gonna get it. You're not gonna.
you
He
know?
is not going to give you more than you can handle, and sometimes we think we can handle a whole lot in the beginning.
Right.
Like, what $1 million at? I've been in this 2 months. You ain't ready for that yet. That's why you ain't got that yet. Okay.
Now you got to have some skin in the game, and it's kind of like entrepreneurship is kind of like skateboarding, right? I don't know if you ever skateboarded before, but I'm sure you've seen people skateboarding.
I tried. I quit because I failed.
Skateboarding will show you really quick what failure looks like, right? You get on that
Yes.
thing and you're going to fall off. It's not going to happen where you're just going to be able to stay on there and ride it good. And that's what entrepreneurship is like. It's getting on a skateboard and then falling down and then getting back up until you learn the trick. Whatever that trick is, maybe the trick is just staying on top of the board. And then once you master staying on top of the board, maybe you can do a kick flip. I know what that is because my son used to be a skateboarder.
Because I'm like, Mr. Donnell, do you skateboard? Because you is talking a lot about this like you know.
No, my son used to skateboard, and so just watching him and his resilience when it came to skateboarding reminded me a lot about entrepreneurship because you fall down a lot and you learn a lot, but as long as you get back up, you're gonna be all right.
Yes.
And you get back on the skateboard, you will be all right. And you just modify the way that you do business. You modify it so you can stay on top. But some people don't learn from their mistakes. And they keep trying the same thing over and over again, and it just doesn't work.
That makes
And
a lot
so
of sense.
the biggest mistake that people make is, not keep, they have to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
The second thing is they got to start asking for money before they need money.
Yes.
Because business requires funding.
Mm-hmm.
And you are going to have to fund your business. You have to fund your dream before your dream funds you.
Yes.
I don't care what you sell, it's going to cost you. If you do business with the government, it's going to cost you.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends that have mortgaged their house and taken out money out of their house to pay their employees because they haven't got paid from the government yet. And so if you're not willing
Government
to,
contracts, you do not get the money up front.
you paying the government to work for them until they pay you.
And that's and there's a lot of gurus out here, and this is not to deter any veteran owned, black owned, minority owned, woman owned business away from working with the government, because there is a lot of money in government contracting, but there is a false narrative going around here where it's like, get a government contract and get 60 and you can be six figures in X, Y, and Z, or get $1 million contract. You have to pay your employees before, and the government, sometimes it's 60, 90, 120 days into this contract that you're required to show up for work before you get paid. So that is not true. I am so happy you brought that up so we could debunk that lie. Not even a myth, that is a lie. You have to pay them people.
Yes. You have to pay, and you got to show up. Like you said, you got to show up to work, and you got to do an amazing job so you can get
spectacular.
Right. Because sometimes they only pay you 5 years. You may be on a contract for 5 years, and you got to prove that you can do more business with the government.
Or maybe 4 in the optional. That 5th year, maybe we gonna see.
Right. Right. And so you got to perform.
Yes.
So no matter what type of business that you're in, you're going to have to put some skin in the game. You have to invest in your business. You're going to have to invest in yourself. And so figure out how to get your credit score as high as possible, so the amount of money that you borrow will cost you less.
Yes.
So when you do get your money back, you're not paying too much in interest.
Mm-hmm.
but you will have to invest in your business,
Yes.
period.
Very much so. So and I'm happy that you brought, business funding up, because I feel like that's also a topic when we are talking about entrepreneurship that kind of goes to the wayside. Business funding and just being financially stable within your business starting out. What does that look like for you? And with the veterans that that work with VGA, how are you kind of helping and guiding them kind of learn what that looks like, business funding and being financially stable within their business, especially during the beginning phases? Because yes, it's important to have that dream, but a lot of times it's like, okay, so how I get up off the ground?
Right. And so um, we create partnerships with different organizations. So Navy Federal Credit Union is a great credit union, and they have a lot of great programs. Also, grants are your friend. You know, um, applying for as many grants as possible that are out there. Just put your name in. The other day we applied for one. They put it back out there, which means that they didn't get enough applications, which means that the next time that they put it out, hopefully my name is at the top, that we get this next grant
Yep.
for X number of dollars. You know, understanding the difference between a bank and an FDIC,
Mm-hmm.
and being a part of a um, a credit union that you're a member of, where it's their job to work for you to help you get money.
Yeah.
So there are several different ways that you can find funding and fund your business. Also, a job, right? A job is a great way to fund your business.
Let your 9 to 5 fund you out of work.
Look, I would say make your job your business partner.
That's good. Can I steal that?
Yes, you can. It's yours. It's yours. But Ray said, I said that's what she said. And so a job can be your business partner, and you can work on these things. You got 24 hours in a day. You can get him 8, you can get yourself 8, and you can sleep 8. So allow that job to be your business partner. That's a great source of funding, and you'll have a check coming in. You know when it's coming in, and use part of it to pay your bills, and the other part to, guess what?
Fund
Pay
your
your business.
business. Exactly. Exactly. I love that. And that's realistic. I think that this is very realistic, especially with how easy that, where social media and different things are trying to make things look like building a business. It is a walk of faith.
Yes,
It is a walk of faith to build and fund businesses, right? So, as a vet, do you think that veteran owned businesses are in a better position to scale versus a regular entrepreneur?
absolutely.
Why?
Ab-
Talk to us why.
Absolutely.
Y'all, I'm
So,
charging for this episode, by the way, because these are gems.
so we have organizations out there, to include your state, that have offices dedicated to your success. Your state has an office that will help you get funding. They will help train you. They will help mentor you. They got these things called SBDCs. Look that up. I can't remember what the acronym mean, but look that up. They got veteran business outreach centers that will help you through the whole process, and then they will help build you a marketing plan and do videos on you. All of this stuff for free. The VA has a program that will help you. They will actually fund your business for you if you know how to ask for it right.
Mhm.
There are so many different programs out there to help our community. The issue is that they don't publicize this information. But if you Google it and know what to Google, or become a part of an organization that has access to these resources,
Like Veterans Growing America.
what she said, we'll help you find those resources. That way, you're on top of the game. We are just, as an organization, Veterans Growing America is about to build a partnership with a organization, I'm not going to even say the name of the college because we haven't signed it yet, but they're going to build a 7-month program that you can be working on your business, and getting the education at the same time
Mm.
and coaching at the same time. So at the end of that 7 months, your business will be at a place far above your peers that start out that are civilians.
Oh, that is so amazing. That is so amazing. And those are the programs that we need as veteran owned businesses and that need to be highlighted, right? But you got to know where to go. And that leads me into my next question, networking. How has networking benefited you not only in business, just in life in general? You know, you are a wealth of knowledge, but you've also been able to scale and just brand yourself as the go-to, as a thought leader in these spaces. How has networking contributed to that?
So networking, it has been my key to success. Um, so when I left the military, I didn't know anybody. When I say anybody, I didn't know anybody outside of uniform. Other than people that wore a uniform, I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
And so I had to build a network.
Mm. How did you
And
do that? How did you do that?
so here's the secret sauce. If you help people get what they want, they will help you get what you want.
Okay.
So that's number one. And what I did was I found business owners and I gave them a platform to be able to tell their story,
Kind of like
like
a
you're
six
doing,
figure base.
like you're doing right here. And through that, uh, they figured out what I needed and helped me and open doors to what I needed. The way that I was able to get into Lockheed Martin, the way that I was able to get into OPM wasn't the regular way of writing a contract or answering the solicitation. I was walked into the office of the person that made the decision by someone
That
that
you
I
know.
helped.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say that one more time. I was walked into the office of the person that made the decision. I didn't have to write anything out.
Through your through your network.
Yes, the way everything that VGA was able to get, I was able to get through my network by relationships. It cracks me up when people go into a networking event, they go in there to meet everybody.
Yeah, you need to be strategic.
Yeah, you need to, first of all, you need to know who you want to meet and meet that person and leave. If you're the last person in the room, you're in the wrong place.
Yes.
I go in, I meet who I need to meet, and then I leave.
You just gave me confirmation. So I'm gonna tell you a quick story. I recently went to this event. um, it was like this Valentine's Day event. I had no like I was there on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
So I get there, you know, everybody's drinking, have a good time. It's nice old school Donnell Jones playing in the background. You know what I'm saying? Nice vibe, but I'm eagle's eye. Like I'm looking for this one specific person to network with. And everything is about strategy and intentionality, guys. Like it really is. So when he says go into these rooms, I knew who I wanted to go meet. I knew where they were going to be at. And this is not being a stalker, okay? This is just being strategic. But I knew where they were going to be at. I positioned myself. I introduced myself. I introduced my brand and I said, "Hey, I would love to have you on. I would love to see how we can collaborate and do something together one day in the future on behalf of Black veterans." And that's what it means to like position yourself into like you should.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bounced and then I left.
Mm-hmm.
So that just kind of gave me a little confirmation that I'm doing this game right, this networking game right.
Yeah, I teach people this thing called the 5 4 3 2 1. I can't give you all of the 5 4 3 2 1. But one of the things is networking events. You need to go to 3 networking events per month. 3. The first week, the second week, the third week. The the networking event should have the type of people that you need to do business with, that you want to do business with. And so if you're a realtor, you need to go to networking events where people want to buy houses. You know, I was a recruiter in the military, where did I go to find people? I went to high schools and colleges.
Yes.
That's where people are that fit the criteria that wanted to do business with me. And so I spent time there. And then when I went to the school, I looked for people that fit the bill of what the military looks like. And I worked on that individual, and I only found 2 to 3 of them to try to figure out, okay, what do you want? And I figured out how my brand could add value to their life.
Yes. And
And
then
then
you
you,
spoke to their pain points.
yes, whatever they needed. I figured out, okay, what does that person need? What's the pain that they're dealing with, and how can I help them out of that pain?
Yes. It is simple as that. So tell us about your role. First of all, congratulations on it, but tell us about your role as a Veterans Commissioner. What is that? What does a Veterans Commissioner do? And why should veterans know their Veterans Commissioner and what they do?
So, in a nutshell, I am your voice, and I am the person that talks to either your mayor or your supervisor in being your voice in what do you need as a veteran coming out of the military or currently um, a person that has served this country. What do you need in order to be successful, right?
Mm,
I am your voice to say these are the services that we need in order to be successful in X, either in a career. Um, we are within our community. We deal with the PTSD, suicide, and homelessness, and making sure that those resources are available. But what
right.
resources are available to you to help you also thrive within our community?
Mm, yeah.
Are there jobs out there that want to hire our community, and do they know that we're an asset to hire?
Yes.
And so I am your voice within the community to say that we are leaders, we are heroes, we are entrepreneurs, and we're human beings.
Yes. And we are valuable.
1000% valuable.
We are valuable. Amazing. So what is your vision for the future of Veterans Growing America?
So my vision is very simple. I want to create a space, place, and opportunity within your major cities for veterans to showcase and grow their business. And when we go to those major cities and then we spread out into the smaller parts of town and really add value to our community when it comes to entrepreneurship. I could see mom and pop stores owned by us, right? I could also see, the Fortune 500 companies with Veterans Growing America. We would be that Fortune 500 company with Veterans Growing America on the outside of it. And you
Yes.
going in there and shopping military spouse and veteran owned businesses.
Yes.
And so that's where I see our organization. It's pretty cool. I wish I could show people pictures of our current store. So our store, I got to speak to some kids today, and I really put something into perspective for myself. But I have a store that is across the street from Barnes and Noble. When I look right out the door, Barnes and Noble is right there. When I look to the right of my store, it's DSW. When I look to the left of my store, it's Starbucks. And then if I look to the left a little bit more, it's an Apple store.
Mm-hmm.
So my logo is right next to Fortune 500 companies.
Yes. So that means your company will be the next Fortune 500 company.
You said it here first.
That's exactly what that means.
We are positioned to be a Fortune 500 company that supports our community. And the beauty of our community is veterans now look like everything.
Mm-hmm.
There is no, I hate when people say, we're all green in the military.
Yeah.
No, we're all human beings in the military.
Yes.
And we are people that just want to, we're a part of an organization where everybody is working toward the same common goal.
Yes.
And so we're able to support and see each other in a different light. It's a trip when I saw people in uniform and then I see them outside of uniform. It's funny. I was like, I'd have never pictured you dressed like that. you know. But it's super cool to see that we're all, different individuals, but I'm able to showcase people because people don't know what veterans look like. They have no idea that you and I look like, that we're veterans.
Right. Yeah. I think that the veterans and active duty service members, just anything pertaining to the military, has been given one universal face. And
Mm-hmm.
I love that there are platforms now that are coming out saying, hey, no, it doesn't just look like that. It also looks like me. It also sounds like me. It also has my culture embedded in that uniform as well.
Absolutely.
And I think companies and platforms and brands like Veterans Growing America and Six Figure Vet is definitely changing the trajectory of how service members and veterans will be seen in the near future, not even in the far future.
Absolutely.
So this has been amazing. I want to take some time to just give you your flowers. You are an inspiration to many. What you're doing for veterans, veteran owned businesses, veteran connected businesses, military connected businesses. It's amazing and it is needed and it is
Thank you.
appreciated. Um, so I just want to give you your flowers. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
this has been another amazing episode of the Six Figure Vet podcast, where we showcase success stories of Black veterans that have successfully unlaced the boots. The Six Figure Vet is out. That was so. Hey y'all, it's a Six Figure Vet here. If you or any other active duty service member or veteran that you know is suffering with suicidal ideation, substance use, or mental health disorders, please tell them to call 988. The number is 988. They're trained crisis responders waiting to take their calls. You don't have to suffer in silence. Quantum